making my way from the Lazarette Highway, I'm calling that, to one of the new translocators. Go ahead and activate it. I stumbled across a cave, couldn't help myself, popped in, found a ruin. I was just, you know, doing my normal loot goblin thing. Found this in a chest. This is important for some of the bonus things that we want to make. Specifically, the teleporter, like the where you died teleporter. I'm trying to think. I definitely have at least one of those. I might have two of those. And what else do we need for that? So that would make that, okay, I definitely don't have that. Okay, so we're still, then I'd have to make this. Is this also something I have to make? No, something I have to find. Make or find? Find. Okay, so we're still missing some stuff for this teleporter. But this is awesome. Very excited to find that. I don't want to do too much. I really want to focus on activating these teleporters, but that's got me excited. Right, we did make it. Every time I question myself as to whether or not I'm wasting time making roads, I'm reminded that no, I am not. I'm making roads. It sucks. It sucks like jumping over all of these hills and stuff. Okay, so I'm just gonna clean some of this up a little bit. Don't need any of that. All right, so now we need, this is gonna clear up our inventory a good bit. Oops, yes. All right, now we're good. I don't want to take any of that stuff right now. All right, let us pick a color. This is translocator F. Let's do this bright magenta purpley color. All right, here we go. Hopefully somewhere new and not one of the other ones that we found. Okay, yep, this is looking new. Okay, first let's just grab stuff in here. I'm not gonna grab the crates right now. I can always come back for those. I am going to lock off a little bit, just to be safe. All right, where are we? Okay, not the most exciting, but let's go up, pop out of here. Oh wow, we're pretty far down. We're down at 49. Typically, a lot of places are around 110 for their normal level. Let's see where we pop out. Ooh, look at that. There's a trader. I'm starting to believe the whole translocators and traders have similar spawn algorithms. It doesn't look like it's too much exciting. It looks like more, you know, andesite hell. But we'll say, oh, is this the treasure guy? Oh no, artisan. That's sick. This is also really pretty. Okay, oh, I didn't bring the stuff for the village. Okay, whatever. We're just doing translocators then. Alright, we're not going to the village on this expedition. Alright, we're gonna head back in. Anything else of immediate interest? I don't really see anything. So yeah, pop back in. Should I pop around here? Oh. Why is it red? Oh. Lava. I've never seen lava in this game. Look, it's killed stuff. I'm not gonna mess with it. We are going to appreciate it from a distance. We will admire its beauty. We will say, ain't fucking with that today. And continue on. I'm on a roll, baby! On my way to this other translocator. On my way to this one. I found another one. And look where it is. It's not that far from a trader. I mean, so this one's further than some of the other ones. So this one maybe not quite as statistically the same. Still very cool. Oh my god. I'm getting so many years. And make sure these are stacking. But I am gonna go ahead and do this one, but it does mean I'm not gonna have enough for the other one. I guess that's okay. I don't know, maybe this one will get us closer. And how close is this to the road? Not too far from the road. All right, let's go. All right. 10,000. Negative 10,000. Oh, yeah. This is fantastic. Look how close this is to the village. So we could, from base, translocate here, run across. Oh, I didn't mark that other one, but it's like right here. Run to the road, come down here, translocate all the way over here, and then get to the village. Oh, this is sick. This is awesome. So A, B, C, D, E, F, G. This is going to be G. All right, since we are going to be using this translocator, I do want to clean up a little bit and add a light source. Kind of hoping I can pick up some more temporal gains. I don't know if I can get 3 more, but that would be nice. All right, I keep getting distracted. Not here for this. Oh, I really want to go look. Did he throw a bauxite stone at me? Where did you get that? Anyway, we're gonna close this off. Keep it a little more safe. I guess we should also go up and just see what's going on up here. But this is very exciting. I think I found where that drifter got the bauxite stone from. This is a pleasant little surprise. Do I have room? I'm gonna make room to take some bauxite home. I'm gonna get some of this bauxite and then head back down. Question is, which of these other two should I go for? Should I go for E or D? E is closer, so I might just do E to see where that goes. And then I can go back to base, and then I can get the stuff that I need to take to the village, and then use this new teleport hopper situation that I've got going on to get things started. Pretty good. All right. I think how much? Okay, a stack. Let me get another stack, and then I'll head out. That's my whole. It's like, oh my god, there's another little path, but no, that's the spiral staircase that I dug. Cool. Unpin D and pin E, and we're just gonna go to E since it's close. Oh man, there's so much bauxite here. This is fantastic. This was a fantastic translocator location. I knew there were entire biomes of this. I just had to find it. What is this? Oh, this is just fire clay. I've never, well, I'm not gonna say I never. I have rarely seen naturally generating fire clay, and usually do find it's underneath coal. What? Marble? I've never come across marble. How do you get this? Do you have to get it in block? Okay, so I've got that. Okay, so you do have to do the well, okay, we're gonna do this first. All right. Let's see. Oh, copper. Oh, lapis. We might be able to find lapis here. Okay. I was wondering if there was like a special recipes for this. It doesn't look like there are any special recipes for it. Now, I'm gonna switch this over to close mode to see if there might be lapis around here. I don't know if lapis shows up. Oh, okay. All right, so I do need to warm up. So I'm gonna just dig a little hole and warm up. We are almost down here to E. I'm not gonna mine much more of this, but it is good to know that it's here. I will probably come back at some point to mine it, just not right now. All right, made it to E. I do think translocators are like activating them and seeing where they go. I do really enjoy it. I do think it's one of my favorite things. All right, so we're gonna use this dark green for E, and we'll see where it goes. Hopefully some more cool. Whoa, okay, negative 14. This is even closer to the village. All right, and then where does this one? Oh, it's really far though. All right, I'm gonna have to do some math to see what the actual shortest distance is, but I think base to here, come here, I didn't mark it, but it is like right here, down here to this translocator, which will pop us up here, and then a road down to here, to here, to here. I'm gonna math it out. and just see. It might be that is an equal amount of time. It might be faster just to teleport here and then extend this road to E and then pop up here. That might be even faster. But we also have D that we haven't activated yet. So if D activates, I don't even know where D would need to activate, but D, I don't know, D might be even better. This is great. This is really good. All right, I'm not going to spend time coming up and out right now, unless I should. Should I? Nah, it's really close to the village. I'm not going to worry about doing that right now. I really want to explore. My inventory is so full. So now my main focus is going to be get back to base, get whatever gear we need to take back to the village, and then also bring some stuff to activate this translocator. Oh, I hear something, so I better get going. And we'll see where we go from there. We are now at translocator D. I've already repaired it, and we'll see where it takes us. Ooh. Okay. Whoa. Oh, geez. Oh. Okay. Corrupt locusts. Great. I feel like they might not be able to get me where I am, so I'm not moving. I do need to... I guess I gotta move. I gotta find their nest. Okay. Now we're a little bit safe. I don't break it out until we can find... Is it right below me? It is right below me. Alright. And then we'll get rid of this one. Maybe we'll get some more Jonas parts. I'm not immediately seeing anything. So let's take another look at where we are. So we're like between the Resonance Archives and, yeah, the most northern point. So cool to explore. Not super useful right now. I did not realize how low on health I was. Let's try to head back. Me back home. No, 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 no. Heck. Alright, I was able to get everything back. It was a very long, cold walk back here. And now we're gonna unpin this one. And we're headed to the next one up here. I am getting curious as to how much more story lore there is right now. Story parts. I know there's a lot of lore that we haven't read through yet. And I do definitely want to do that here in February. But I don't know how much actual story there is left for now. I mean, obviously the game still is still in progress. So, you know, things can always be added and changed and all that fun stuff. It has been really interesting. I am kicking myself for not doing this sooner. It's getting so much helpful stuff, so many good items, all these Jonas parts and stuff. It's just a whole nother dimension of the game that I hadn't been playing with before. And it's not nearly as scary as I thought it would be. Maybe I'm over prepared with all the silver, or not silver, with all the steel armor and stuff. Maybe that's too much. Oh my goodness. Look at all that quartz. Holy moly. I do need to warm up. Is there an easier way to get in here? Yeah. Go in this hole to warm up and maybe we find another translocator. Oh, haha, no translocator, but there's some titanium. That's nice. Or at least no translocator so far. I am going to mark this. Alright, so the screaming is a spider. I know what that is. There's a clicking. Okay. We're not doing that right now. That's not part of this mission statement. we're not dealing with that. But there was a clicking. I'm not sure what that clicking was. A little spooky. I do have plenty of room in my mining bags. I'm gonna get a little bit of this titanium. I think that my body temperature is not freezing anymore. Body temperature's back up, so I think I'm heading back up to, I think I already checked this place. It's dead end. Yeah. Alright, so I'm headed back out of this cave, and we're continuing on to the next translocator. Sweet, we've made it to the last translocator that we've got open. Let's do this nice bright yellow for H, and let's see where it takes us. Okay, alright, negative. Whoa, this is different. This north, yeah. Okay, so this is just another kind of north spot. This is our most northern, or temperate, third northern base, I guess you could say. Okay, not crazy, not super useful right now. I think the current fastest way to the village, and again, I don't know how much we're gonna need to go to the village after we do this part of the story. Current fastest way, base to this translocate, to translocator B, and then going north to F. F will take us here. F to G, which takes us here, and then going that way. Because, I mean, E is super close, but E's right here. Just don't know that it's worth it to go all the way south. 1,500 blocks. This is negative 15, and then this is negative 32-ish, 30, and then this is 13.7. Yeah, I think this is just the straighter shot. All right, good to know. This looks weird. This looks different. I do want to check this out real quick. We'll just pop up, see where we are. Ooh, what is this? Black coal. Oh, sweet. This is really good. Technically need black coal for cementation furnaces. Some out of brown coal. But the question is, do I spend time mining it out now? Because the main goal of this expedition was A, activating the translocators that we found, and then B, getting to the village to finish this part of the story. I think I will spend a little bit of time getting at least a couple. Well, I'd need at least 3 stacks. Technically 2.5 stacks to do another round of coke. I mean, I've got the room, right? Not really, actually. Okay, we'll just mark it then. I will say one thing that I think would be pretty neat is, like, right now I'm wearing an alchemist belt, and this is currently just cosmetic. But it would be really cool to be able to have a functional tool belt that, like, added a few more slots, and it can, maybe it can only hold tools or whatever. I mean, a lot of times I have these just, in my inventory, the pickaxe and the prospecting pick, unless I'm actively mining. And I know the pickaxe and the prospecting pick can go in the mining bag. I've also got ores in the mining bag. I've got rocks in the mining bag. So just having a belt with just a few slots in it would be really nice. And you could also put your backup tools in there. I think that would be really cool to be able to do. All right, it is dark, so can't see a whole lot, but it looks like it's just... Oh, there's some flint, though. Do I have room for flint? Not really. It's all good to know. I am going to go ahead and prospect. I'm going to mark the coal as well. Then we need to mark this translocator. Shoot. This is H. Yeah, this is H. This is yellow. I had forgotten already. I was like, wait, what? All right. We've got our translocators. Now, the goal is to get to the village. I don't think there's a better translocator option. Oh, wait, no. Actually, yes, there is. Go down to E from where I am, because E will pop me out here. So we need to unpin H. And then we're going to pin E since we need to get to it and there aren't any roads to it. I'm just honestly trying to use up some of the stuff in my inventory. I started making a road down towards this other translocator that we're going through. Came across this cave and there's a thing here with a ladder I'm going to eat before I go down. I don't hear any monsters, which is good. I cannot open these. I am able to break stuff. It is just a random room. I've never seen a room like this. Age wooden planks, brown coal. Alright, I hear a monster now. Ooh, is that Jonas parts? No, ruin tools. Okay, brass. Ooh, Jonas part, yes! Okay, we want that. Alright, what is this for? Okay, this is for this thing that we need for the base teleporter. Anything else in here? I'm not really seeing anything else. I guess this is just a type of ruin that I haven't seen before. Just made it back to the village, this time with the faded crumpled letter. So let's talk to people again, because we should have some new options. So, back for more. I can only smith so fast. I found a letter that directed me here. Do you know what that's about? Ah, I know that writing. It's the old man's. You'll be wanting the map then. Who is the old man? The old man is mysterious. Some say he's Saint Tobias, the one who helped found the village. The old man's ancient, but not that old. He sends me designs from time to time. I make them. Then one of those foolhardy traders delivers it somewhere out in the wilds. Can I have that map? Here, take it. One last task for me to worry about. Thank you. There's some writing on the map in the same hand as the faded letter. It reads as follows. Before you come meet me, you must make your way to the devastation. That sounds fantastic. There's a tower there. You must climb it and take the lens that rests upon its peak. It will not be easy. This must be done if we are to succeed. Why did you have the map? Agnieszka shrugs. The old man told my grandmother to keep an eye out for a strange traveler to come to town looking for him. Never expected it to take this long, but you certainly look the part. No offense. Thanks. This map mentions a place called the Devastation. What is that? You can read that? Yes? Devastation is cursed land full of horrors. Legends say it clawed itself out of a rift many years ago. How can I find this place? I wouldn't know. It's far too dangerous to travel there. Perhaps Gerhardt would know. He's been known to range that far in his hunts. Great. Alright, we got another thing. Is it this? Oh my goodness. Oh, that's not too far away. That's not too far at all. And then we need to talk to the hunter again. Okay, so the hunter, his house was over here. No. This is the entrance. His house is to the back. This is not his. Oh, this is somebody we haven't talked to. I'm sorry for disturbing you, though. Well met, friend. What brings you to Nadja? Or are you just passing through? Just passing through. Fine enough. Take a look around. What's your name? It's Kat. Oh, we've heard about Kat. What do you do? I know it's hard to tell from my livery and weapons, but you'll just have to take my word for that I'm a guard. Take my word for it that I'm a guard. The captain guard, in fact. Is this place? We already know that. I need some supplies. Okay. Yep. I'm looking for whoever wrote this. The letter means nothing to me, but okay. So, great. We met Kat. This one is the hunters. He is not here at the moment. Great. Where... I was a hunter. Where would I be? Where else would a hunter go? Oh, she's using a drop spindle. I hope this comes to the actual game at some point. I do buy birds too. she's spinning like probably like wool or something into yarn, and then she can use that to, you know, obviously knit or crochet or weave clothing or blankets or whatever she wants to do with that. That's really cool. That would be an awesome addition. Bro, where are you? All right, can you tell me anything about Saint Tobias? Sedna. He was a wise man from the dark days of yore. It said he could command angels to do his bidding. Here in Naja, they consider him their patron, and it's believed he helped build this village long ago. But many villages have their own stories about him or the other saints. Asking her about the letter. I've seen letters like this before my travels, but sometimes in people's hands and other times in ruins. Sometimes in people's dead and ruined hands. I've heard they're connected to Saint Tobias, but all folktales are measured only by the beauty of the voice that sings them. In any case, they're written in an old tongue not easily translated. Oh, that's why they were surprised I could read it. All right. I'm gonna check his house one more time. If he's not in this house, I'm gonna see if I can find his schedule, like a Stardew Valley schedule. Wait, we are in the back. Yeah. All right. Where are you, man? Does sound like he might be in the Fort's tannery. Okay, this is the tannery. Bro's not here. I did just hear a door open. Open the door. He spends evenings smoking near the inn. Okay, let's go back to the inn then, because I guess I would consider this nighttime. Maybe he considers it the evening. Alright, not seeing him in or around the inn. Oh my god! He's over here. I thought that was his bed. How long has he been here? I'm looking further at the letter. That is the writing of the Hermit. We cannot read it. Why do you call him the Hermit? He's a madman who lives far out in the wilderness. Claims to be Saint Tobias, but that's blasphemy. Can you tell me how to find him? I cannot. He is a sorcerer of great power. I have ranged far and never found his home. We've already got mapped to his home. But you know of the devastation. It is a dead land. I do not know what evil was done there, but the place is cursed. How to get there? No. Will not tell you. I've skirted the edge of the land many times. Only once have I passed the threshold and set foot on the ruined soil. I will not go back. I gave you the path. I would be sending you to your death. No need to worry about me. For good or ill, I can't seem to die. Your kind are stubborn, I'll give you that. I try to warn you, and you rush headlong into the dark without a torch. I'll bring a torch, man. Let it be your head, then, whatever comes of it. Take this. The devastation will be hard to miss. The air is strange, and metal grows like moss upon the ground. A tower centers it. Some huge beast casts its shadow there. This is the work of Saint Tobias, the holy and the feared. Be sure. Oh, okay. Did I lose the map? I did not lose the map. Let us see. Alright, the devastation. Oh, okay, the devastation's not far. We have to go to the devastation first, right? We can't go to Tobias first. So, inventory, chock full. Go back to base, drop a bunch of this stuff off. So the village, we are going to have to keep coming back to the village because it's kind of the center point for this kind of stuff. Let me just see if there's anything in this direction that is along. No. Dang. It's more north than our northern home base, or northern base. But the village is going to be our launch pad to these two areas. So we do want to firm up some paths to get there. Right, that's what makes the most sense, at least for now, until we can maybe hopefully find some more translocators. Okay, and this is gonna be a long one. Went ahead and made a rift ward. I put it kind of out here near the fields and stuff because I do get attacked a lot of times when I'm trying to harvest the cattails. I didn't put it in the walls because I've got that pretty well lit up, so I'm not super worried about that. But you do have to give it a temporal gear to operate. It's kind of funny to look at. It like oscillates a little bit. It's like a little dance. And then it says it's charged for 21 days. So it, to me, sounds like I need to give it a temporal gear every 21 days. So between that and the translocator hunt I've been going on, I'm starting to get low on temporal gears. I've got 4, 5, 6, 7, I believe, temporal gears remaining right now. Yep, 7. It's hard to believe that just a little while ago I was like overflowing with temporal gears. I was like, I have too many temporal gears. But now I need more. I also want to do a little update on the museum. I do know that it currently doesn't have windows, and I do plan to rectify that. But I wanted to show some of the lighting that I decided to do since, you know, chiseling is starting to become a thing for me. But I just took a log, right, a debarked log, and then I chiseled the bottom out and made a very basic shelf. This is very basic. I understand that. But I wanted it to be simplistic. I wanted it to just hold candles. I have this one a little bit higher up. Not sure which level I prefer it at, but I think I'm going to have a mix of candle lighting and lantern lighting. I do want to also make some bismuth lanterns for this. And then for the ceiling, because the ceiling is the floor of the second floor, I wanted to do something subtle, but also kind of interesting. So I just used a bunch of the extra wattle, a bunch of the extra daub I had to make this very simple pattern, but I really like it. It looks nice. I am thinking that maybe all of this on this lower level should be like this full color and not have the texturization. I think we'll be able to, I just feel like it's going to be too distracting and take away from the stuff inside. This is a new tapestry that I recently found. It says Banner of the Forlorn Hope. And I mean, this looks like some kind of being with wings. I don't know what these symbols mean, but it is pretty. And we did have lore stuff in it. And I would like to go through and read some of these lore bits that we have. But I want to get the at least a basic, at least enclose this top level. Okay, this top level is going to be the library. I do want to enclose this at the very least. And I'm trying to see if there's a way that I can chisel a bay window. I love bay windows so much. I think they're so cool. I'm trying to figure out how I want to like lay everything out. I've got a couple lore items here. I have a bunch of weapons and stuff to display, and so I think part of those will go down here. I'm thinking maybe move these display case. I don't like them being on the tables. We'll get rid of that. Maybe these tables can go up in the library and we can put candles on them or something, or I don't know. We can do something else with the tables. But maybe move some of these ores and stuff over here with the pretty ores that I saved. What I did is I went in, I had the hammer and chisel, and I right-clicked on them to initiate chiseling, but then I didn't actually chisel them. Because they're considered a chiseled block now, you can just break them and move them around as needed. I thought these were really pretty. I just wanted to be able to look at them. Really like how ores look in chalk. Additional update, greenhouse A is all terra preta now and is currently growing parsnips. I was a little bit worried about the parsnips. I was worried that it might be a little too cold, but it seems like we aren't they survived down to -10. So as long as we don't go below -15, they're good in the greenhouse. Oh, and look, are they all grown up? Or all the pigs grown up? They are. Okay, so a bunch of their weight is low. Some are good, but a lot are low. So before we process them, we're gonna feed them, get their weight up. We'll let them get their weight up and then we'll process them. And freaking finally, the second clutch of chicks hatched. Oh my god, it took forever. The other ones had already completely grown up at the first clutch. Anyway, whenever these guys grow up, I don't even know what generation we're on now. 12? Okay, we'll process Gen 11 and then part of Gen 12. It's been a struggle. I did also spend some time healing up my armor a bit. I still need to heal up my helmet, and so I'll need to make more steel chain for that, which I've got this much steel currently. Super worried about my steel at the moment. Just kind of waiting for some good winds to come back to make some more steel plates to make it easier to make steel chain. So I'm learning some things about chiseling glass. When you set a glass block to be chiseled, it just kind of turns invisible. You can still kind of see it, but it's not the easiest thing to see. That's making this very difficult. I do think I'm onto something though with this bay window, but what I'm gonna do is reverse it. I'm going to, instead of adding caulk to glass, I'm going to put caulk logs here and add glass to the caulk, because then theoretically I'll be able to see it better. And I'm planning to use the caulk to be like the wood trim on the outside holding the glass. Anyway, those are my current thoughts. This was very interesting to explore though. Like, these blocks being clear is really cool. What do I want to do with these? It would be really awesome to have some kind of underwater window or something. That's what these would be really cool for. Some kind of viewpoint. Anyway, yeah, that's what's gonna happen is I'm gonna inverse it because this is not happening very easily at all. This might be one of the things I am most proud of doing in this game. Oh my god, this is so cool! I love it so much. I do want to put little plant pots on here. I guess technically it should be pulled back in a little bit. Like, it should be in one block. This should be here. But, oh my god, this is so cool. And it wasn't, once I switched over to doing the caulk logs first and then adding the glass in second, it really wasn't that bad. But yeah, this is so cool. Yes, there is a dark spot seemingly right here that I need to light up. But I am so pleased with how this is coming along. I just wanted to bring you guys in and do a little bit of a lore read real quick. Planted some pine saplings in here. I do want to plant some crimson maple saplings. I think those would be really pretty, but we gotta wait until it warms up so they can actually grow a little bit. But so for now, we've just got these pine saplings, and then, you know, I've got the little candles. I made some flower pots. Just kind of in a couple of corners. Look at this railing! I stole this idea from the village. I saw their little balcony railing. I was like, oh man, that's so good. Did that. I'm wondering if I should have done it with normal logs instead of planks. That might have looked better. I like how it looks up here at the top, but here it looks a little weird. And down here it looks a little weird. So maybe straight up wood would have been better for that. And then we've got all of the tuning cylinders up over here. I got a bunch of room for scrolls and then books. Moved all the books over in here. I was a little upset that you couldn't sit in the chair, but I do have a couple chairs. I still have 2 more pots I need to put something in. And this is the bay window. Ugh. It's so beautiful. I love it so much. I did make a little steppy step. Just kind of thinking, you might want to sit here with your back leaning against it to read or something. But I thought this would be a nice little backdrop for some lore reading. Some of these we may have read in the past, but I think I'm just gonna go through and reread everything just to make sure we've got a good understanding. And I think I'm gonna move to the right a little bit just so we can see out the window. So we'll just start at the top, work our way down. Quartermaster's ledger. Date unknown. Our food stocks are depleted. We've only the dried wolf and rabbit meat left. Largely, we're left chewing leather now. Our vests, our belts, our boots. We draw our last breaths. The huntsman's corpse managed to trap 2 healthy squirrels and a gray gooseling. Not much more than 10 hours ago, I'd wager. It was not nearly enough to feed all the workmen. The ones in the mines had to be prioritized, as expected of their labor. Despite the additional meat, their health is declining. We are running out of options. Furthermore, Joseph, Barda, and Jaren were taken this day. They did not go willingly. The others might still have a chance. I have to believe so, for my own sake. Quartermaster's ledger, date unknown. I had to tell Jaren's wife today. I had to be gone from the shelters too long. We're losing them as quickly as we're losing everything else. The poor woman was half dead when I arrived. She will not last much longer. I stayed only long enough to convey my respect. He was a good man. I would not be here this day without his aid. Nevertheless, I can do nothing for him or his kin. They are like so many of the others here. Rest well, my friend. I am sorry. All right, so just things sound quite dire for this quartermaster. Reflection. I am not the reflective type. I was taught from a young age that life is better treated as a task. There's work to be done, so do it and do not complain. Thinking seemed like a luxury. I still follow that creed, but I have, in my time, come to see the power of thought. Thought has lifted me out of despairing poverty. Thought has given my village the strength to survive the harsher seasons. Thought has seen my people raise their voices in hope for the first time in years. I'm speaking, of course, of him, my friend and companion, Jonas Fawkes. Our task here will be done in some few days. I wish to make a record of the events that have transpired until this point. I do not know if any will live to read this, but I cannot leave it be. A madness compels me to write, though I am no learned master. This task would be better set for Jonas, but he is in no condition to complete it. I digress. Allow me to start from the beginning, and forgive me for my shortcomings. So this is one that I am super interested to get more pages on, if we can. Like, this is Jonas parts. This seems very important. The Jonas parts, Fawkes. I don't know if it has anything to do with the Fawkes blade, but there might be something there. I'd be interested to get more from that. And then this next one is, ooh, these are the tapestries. All right, let me go get all of the tapestries together so we can read about them whilst looking at them. All right, so the first tapestry we're going to be reading about is Nightfall. This is the Nightfall tapestry. It looks like there are people here with a fire and then walls with, it looks like guards up here because you see little houses. And I'm guessing these are creatures on either side, and then kind of a similar thing going on down below at the bottom. They were always waiting for us, just beyond the walls. I had thought our work would free humanity from our self-made burrows. Yet we still find ourselves huddled together, fearing what's just beyond sight. Alright, so yeah, walls, self-made burrows. I don't know if they mean they're saying that the walls are like them burrowing into the ground and like holding in like I'm not thinking of a good word for this right now. Fortifying, like fortifying and not being able to move, right? Or self-made burrows. Did they actually go underground? I mean, a lot of the ruins are in caves. So were some caves and tunnels dug by people? This next one is schematic C. A mobile colossus for scaffold and hoisting. May they inspire our tired workmen. When they first started moving, the crowds almost panicked and fled, but eventually a cheer went up. Finally, we have made something greater than ourselves. So from this, I'm not sure of the scale of this thing. Is this Gundam size? Or is this like human size? Is this the first iteration of the Seraphs? I a little bit know some about the Seraphs. I won't say too much in case spoilers for everybody. But like, how big is this? That I'm not sure. And then finally, the banner of forlorn hope. And so this is a figure with wings and then some symbols. This almost looks like a house. This looks like a Celtic cross almost. But let's see what's in the journal for this. Banner of the Forlorn Hope. They declared themselves the vanguard. Swords raised, oaths taken. They swore a heavenly charge against our foe. It was a challenge of will and ingenuity. Look, this next tapestry is the Seraphim. I don't have all the pieces for it, though. I'd love to finish that tapestry. Okay, let us continue. Dimitri's notes. These are the findings of Dimitri Arvo regarding the natural philosophies of the Cade Hill University. Whoa! University? So this is either right after or near the end of civilization, like before the fall. So I'm pretty interested to see what this has to say. Cannot seem to make sense of it myself. It irks me terribly. Lord Chamberlain False will be here within the month. No doubt he will carry with him the end of my erudition if I fail to provide him answers. Erudition refers to profound scholarly knowledge acquired through extensive reading and study. My only consolation here is that the other scholars have failed more bitterly than I. One of them, the older, goutish fellow, caught fire to his laboratory trying to incinerate the black filth. As for me, I have been loath to even approach it. This excrement, whatever it may be, I catch myself on the edge of prudence whenever I investigate it. It seems to spread regardless of condition. No procedure I have tried can halt it. I vacillate between fury and flight. How should I kill it? What can I do to stop this? And all the same, what can I do? What can it be stopped? What dreadful scourge is this? But enough of this. The dark substance haunts my thoughts, but I will not suffer its rule. Lord Chamberlain will be here soon, and I intend to have results. Looks like this is continued. That Folks boy came to visit today. Troublesome. If it were my decision, I would have sent him on his way without even a glance into our library, but the rector would have none of it. It seems fear of the boy's father has spread throughout the academy. Unbelievable. To think that an upstart sellsword who butchered his way into nobility could startle and cow his betters into submission. Perhaps I should not be surprised. It is foolishness, however. The house of Ingmar Fox should never be welcomed into our institutions. We of the finer bloodlines should not give away to the masses. They may win the Emperor's favor with the conquered cities and burning fields, but we will always have his ear with our superior acumen and grace. It is a birthright we risk depriving ourselves of, should the lowborn be given proper education. dick. Guy's not great. Page 1, I was like, he's high, he's, you know, not his high horse or whatever, but if, you know, maybe, you know, he's got some insight on how to stop this scourge, which I'm assuming is the rot. And then he lost me. Page 2. He lost me. All right, Dimitri. Scribe's Notes 13:18. Master Jonas Fawkes, please come forth. The lords and ladies rose when he entered the room. Even the kings gave him small gestures of welcome. He walked to the center of the court, his attendant behind him, bearing the great collection of drafts. My lords, as I'm sure you're aware of now, we face a nightmarish threat. This disease, or plague as it has been called, is not overly complex. Neither is it beyond our vision. It is, quite simply, desolation made manifest. Here his attendant began laying out a number of medical diagrams upon the floor. Master Fawkes issued from one parchment to the next, gesturing as he went. It rots the body in its entirety. It begins externally with numbness and darkened skin. Proceeding further into the ligaments, the victim may lose control of entire limbs. Eventually, the flesh sloughs off in small heaps. By this time, the victim has likely entered a cataplegic state. This may be a blessing for them. The rot will have overtaken their eyes and ears now, depriving them of their senses. Arriving at the last parchment, he paused and gazed upon it. Many of the gathered assembly also leaned forward to see the image more clearly. On the scribe's desk, it appeared only to be a drooping mass of charcoal smearings. This is all that remains of the poor souls. In its final stages, the rot consumes the mind and body whole, leaving nothing left of distinction. Here, His Majesty, King Unland, interjected, "Is there truly no method of treating this malady? What preventions are available to us?" Ooh, it's interesting that the U is capitalized. It might just be a typo, but that's interesting there. No prevention, Your Grace, save total isolation from the populace. Even such a drastic method as that will only last until a food supply is infected. As for our treatments, I have found none. Perhaps some of my betters from the Academy have made progress, but judging by their silence, I think not. He pauses again here to clear his throat. It is a certain death. However, I stand here now to offer you a better fate. All right, so this is next. We're moving into an inconvenience. Apologies, Florian. We've been dealing with a shortage of supplies regarding the generator. I mentioned... Oh, this is from the Resonance Archives. I mentioned already that broken pump. We've also found an issue with one of the gears just this morning. Naturally, I've repaired the gear already and need only to reinsert it now, but there might be some delay before we can requisition a new pump. I shall ask Wade and his team if I might repurpose one of his devices from the mines. I suspect he will loathe to part with it. In the meantime, I fear there will be some disruption to the mechanisms running these archives. I know the scribes find it unpleasant, but you'll have to enter the library through the maintenance room for now. Don't worry, he won't bother you. Ibiram. Bro, you liar. He won't bother you? We know that is one hecking lie. All right. Next up is whining. Tired of all this damn shoveling. Every morning, Eustace, the boiler, needs more coal. And every night, Eustace, the glassfire, needs more coal. I suppose I should be grateful to still be alive at this point, but honestly, couldn't they have made some little metal man to shovel coal and leave me in peace? I'll be sure they both stay lit, of course. Make sure the little metal men are keeping up their work and all. Yes, I quite like the sound of that. Foreman Eustace, keeping everything running. Now that's got some weight to it. This was also from the Resonance Archives. I think it was just a hint about the boiler and stuff. Stationary long-term recording. Place of origin unknown. State background noise. Technical issues. And this one is for you, my lovely niece. What is it? It's heavy and clinking. Well, why don't you open it, Are they stones? Boisterous laughter. You sound disappointed. What's so bad about stones, little Emily? But there are stones everywhere. Indeed there are. But these here are special. Special stones? Marbles. I worked on them myself, see? All round and smooth and easy on the hand. So they're round stones, but still stones. Aish, aren't you impatient today? Look here, let me show you. You put one down like this, see? And then you take the other one and try to, aha! I almost hit it. I want to give it a try? It looks easy. Well, you'd think so, wouldn't you? Want to make a bet with your uncle? Mama said you shouldn't gamble. Right. Your mother's absolutely right. Well then, I guess I'll take these here back and search for a better gift for our little girl. Give them here. You've gifted them, so they're mine now. But you didn't want them, did you? No, I want them. You can't catch me, so you can't take them back. Oh, no running. Wait, if your mother sees you, and off she goes, little whirlwind. Oi, Bert, you're finally out of the tunnels. Was that your niece? Sure was. The girl grows like water root. Almost didn't recognize her. How's it been up here? Any news? Merchants been scarce. Last shipment of oil and coal was late, but they still take the ore as if it's their bloody right. Shush, Hal. Not so loud. You know damn well it's their right, and we should be proud to procure the ore they use in the main city. I tell you, our ore is what makes the crawlers and even your lanterns. But it wouldn't hurt them to show some more appreciation, now would it? We've got all our packs to carry down here, and it's not like up top was any better, now was it? Right, you're right. Just being uneasy is all. As long as the tunnels don't run out, they'll have a need for us. Right. As long as there's ore. Bertram, you're back. Amelia came running just a moment ago, said you gifted her stones and wanted to bet on them of all things. Miriam, your little whirlwind is fast on her legs, isn't she? And got a loose tongue, that girl. Don't you entice my kids into any shady deals, you hear me? It's bad enough I've had to tell her father off each time. You brothers, I should have never married a minor. Ah, Miriam, don't be like that. There's nothing but minors in this town anyways. And you have the gall to be so proud of it. Tell me, how's the useless tunnel these days? Your brother comes back every day with dust stuck everywhere. I'll give up washing his clothes soon. The tunnels. Huh. Low voices fading away. I won't lie to you, Miriam. Seen better days. But surely, some entries are unreadable, the text covered with blotches and stains. The sixth right tunnel is barren. What about the third? Traces remaining. We sent Bert and his men a day ago. He should be back soon. There's no ore to be found there either. Nothing to do about it. We can go deeper. You think I haven't thought of it? The men are uneasy, and I get where they're coming from. The air down there is stale. Thin. But you've tested the depths. The lamp kept burning, even down there, didn't it? So far it kept burning. But if we can avoid it... Shh, someone's coming. Half a page seemed to be ripped out with uneven edges. Oh my God. Are they all right? What happened? Is it Bertman? Someone call the Greys. The tunnels. Down here. If the sports failed, that's why we needed that bell down there. Hey man, are you all right? Can you hear me? What? I can't. Be quiet, you lot. I can't hear him. Damn it. Where? Are the rest of you still down there? We need to assemble a search party right away. They went down the third tunnel. If we hurry, we may still... 2 days ago. But we can't just... Someone get him some water and call. The rest of the conversation is lost. Despite repeated listening, the quality of the recording and overlapping voice lines have made a complete transcription impossible. What do you mean you have to raise the prices? Again? Didn't you sell me these for half the price last time? Sure did. Can't anymore. That's all you have to say? Look here, Halfred. I have to feed myself too. You know how hard it is to get fresh food these days? It's not like it grows on stones. But take it or leave it, Hal. Fine. Mama? Yes, my darling, what is it? Will Uncle Bert be all right? Of course, sweetheart. He's big and strong, isn't he? Just like your father. You know how the miners are. Yes, all miners are strong, like oxen. Oxen, my dear. Did old Bergman talk to you about the above again? That woman has too much time on her hands. She told me that we're special. We're strong, and the dark won't scare us none. No fear, because we're miners. We were always down here. No fear. Well, I guess my little wildling isn't scared of anything anymore, huh? You really do take after your father and uncle both. Yes, I'll be big and strong like Uncle Bert one day. Just you wait, Mama. Sometimes I wish your father had a bit more fear in him, or thoughts left for his family waiting home for him. But Mama, you were the one who chased him out with your broom last time. And he earned that scolding. Now come along, your uncle's waiting for that medicine you're carrying. That poor family. It wasn't enough for Bertman to come back in that state. Now even his brother. I heard Miriam cry all night. What about the daughter? They say he went too deep. Not enough air. Hush, they're carrying the body out. From the stone we make our living, and to the stone we will return. Following is one of the only complete records of the tunnel barrier, a local tradition observed in the rural mining settlements, cross-referencing the documentation provided with A Miner's Guide to the Depths. This is the last one. I won't be coming back, Hal. You're on your own from now on. I see. I guess it's goodbye then. I'm sorry. No, you have to feed your own too, right? Not profitable to come out here anymore. They're rationing even the mushrooms now, and there's no more trade happening either. Right. So no more haggling of your wares, eh? I guess. Yeah. All right, I guess. Are you sure you want to stay? Why not pack up and come back with me? No, I can't. There's still the mine, isn't there? And the kids are still here too. The Grays and the Pebbles. Even old hag Bergman's still here. All the good it does us. Hal, about that mine shaft. No, never mind. It's too late now, isn't it? They haven't told us to stop. See? Right. I don't want to keep you. Off you go, yes? Say hello and goodbye to your wife as well. Goodbye, Hal. Alright, so we kind of got a glimpse. We still don't know what ore they're mining for. They're mining for some kind of ore, and in the Diet of Kings, they were talking about, like, the miners are important. The miners are the ones that they're prioritizing the rations for. So this ore has to be important for something. But it's dangerous work. Sounds like a mine collapsed. Some people got injured, maybe killed. Oh, this is another long one. I don't remember where I got these. These ones. These are nice juicy floor bits. Admirer of the miller. The pond. What could have been if this chaos had not come between us? I can't stop thinking about him. Grieves me. Drives me mad. All I can do now is write down these memories and draw what I can remember with charcoal from the dying fire. I remember the first time I saw him vividly, since it was such an unusually beautiful and peaceful day. The harvest of rye had begun, but I snuck away early that day from the workers to enjoy the still summer evening out in the forest. Leaves rustled softly as I walked, and small twigs crackled under my feet. Brushes and ferns brushed against my legs and arms. I reached a glade with fallen trees and pools of water. I made myself comfortable, laying on top of a few moss-covered rocks. The surface was dry and soft, and cranberries were blooming all over, buzzing with life. Looking up between the treetops, I saw the partially cloudy sky. I would do anything to go back to that moment. Feeling drowsy from the sweet, warm air, I closed my eyes and just listened. I heard crows scrambling around the trees and small bits of branches splash down into the water beneath. Bees were humming to and fro close by my face. Fox barked in the distance. Footsteps, branches snapping and brushing of vegetation. The sound stirred me from my haze. I thought it was a deer. It was very faint, but getting closer. I looked up and saw a tall man slowly walking towards the bigger pond in the glade. He sat himself down on an old log right by the water. He sat very still, as I did, and just looked at the water and the bugs that were dancing there. He was fair and had light, long hair with wavy locks. His gaze was cold, but at the same time gentle and at ease. By a look of his rugged hands, strong shoulders, and patched linen clothes, he was a hard-working man. He leaned forward and picked something from the ground. He looked at his find and pulled a string from his pocket. After a brief moment of tinkering, he seemed to have made a necklace that he hung around his neck. A gentle smile spread across his face as he held up the ornament piece in his hand, admiring its simple creation. I was careful to stay still, not making my presence known. I did not want to disrupt the stillness with my awkwardness, and at the same time I could not take my eyes off him. He brought out a piece of folded yellow parchment out of his belt bag that he proceeded to scribble on, pausing every now and then looking up, his thoughts seemingly far away. Carefully, he put away the parchment and got down on his knees by the clear forest pool and cupped his hands, took a sip, and then splashed his face, making his short beard glitter with water drops. He removed the necklace he made and hung it on a thin-leafed branch, looked out of the pond one last time, then contentedly walked away through the brush. Of course, I was curious and walked over to the place he had been and inspected the necklace he had made. It was made out of a large acorn from one of the nearby oak trees. If I had only had the bravery to get up and greet him the first time I saw him. But who was I, a shy cow farmer's daughter, to do that? The carriage. As the harvest season went by and autumn was reaching its end, I sometimes went back to the ponds in the forest where I had first seen the mysterious man. I had not seen him before in my village, nor could I remember seeing him in the neighboring village either. It was like he had appeared out of nowhere, and I couldn't stop thinking about him to the point where it almost hurt. The acorn necklace still hung there, untouched. The summer green color of the seed was gone, and it had turned to a shiny bronze. At some point, I realized that he probably wouldn't come back for it, so I took it and put it around my neck. Felt silly, but it was pretty in a childish and playful way. My life on the farm got more busy and rough as winter approached. The cows needed to be fed several times a day, as well as the morning and evening milking. The water in the troughs froze, and firewood in our cottage was running low. When the winds were just about to turn freezing and snow was in the air, I brought with me my little wooden cart to the nearby spruce forest to gather some firewood logs to take home and cut. As I was struggling with the frozen logs, a small horse wagon loaded with sacks and covered from the snow came rolling on the muddy forest path. The driver had a thick cloak with a hood covering half his face. The gray, heavy mare was trotting energetically, but slowed down to a walk at the light tug of the driver's hands on the reins. The snow was starting to come down heavy, and my clothes were by now all covered in white. The driver stepped off the wagon and put a hand in the air as a greeting. I hesitantly waved back. He pulled out a thick blanket and drew it over his horse. He stroked the old gray mare between the ears, and she snorted contentedly. The driver turned to me. "You need cover from the storm, lass," he said in a concerned manner. "If you need help, that is." Since I was getting cold from the snow and wind, I precariously walked over and stepped into the wagon. It was dark and not much space, but at least it was dry and sheltered from the wind. Before the driver entered the wagon, he loosened the horse from the harness and let her walk free. The wagon creaked as he got in beside me. He turned around behind him, lightly brushing against me as he opened a bag of grain, scooped out a fistful of grain, and called his horse. Dapples, come here, girl. The cart horse's head stuck into the wagon, and she happily ate the grain from the driver's hand. Hope you don't mind her joining us, he said with a grin while rubbing the horse's muzzle. The driver lowered his hood, and I found myself staring as I recognized him. His hair was long and light and slightly tangled from being under the thick woolen hood, and his eyes were dark green. My heart couldn't believe the luck I had stumbled upon him again. We certainly weren't expecting this weather today. Dapples and I were just picking up some grain to bring to the mill. Are you the miller? I asked, since I remember the miller in the neighboring village being much older. Not exactly. Or, well, I work the mill now that my father passed. I am the miller's son. He was quiet for a moment and fiddled with the reins. Guess that makes me the miller now. He looks at me with a sad smile. I'm so sorry about your father, I mumbled, looking at my hands. We sat in silence for a while, shoulder to shoulder, melting snow dripping from our cloaks and our breaths were smoking from the cold. I wanted to ask 1,000 questions but couldn't bring myself to do it when I saw the hurt look in his eyes. But maybe that's exactly what I should have done. Your father must have meant a lot. He was a rough man, as millers go, but he did have a good heart. I've left my life as a brewer to come back to the mill when he got ill. The old man deserves no less, the miller scoffed. I do miss the brewing business, though. It was a breath of new life from the slow farming labors. But as long as I get to brew some of my special miller's mead, all is well. He smiled lightly, then he caught sight of the acorn necklace hanging around my neck. That necklace, he paused. When I realized, my cheeks blushed and I cursed myself that I still had it, although now I'm very glad I had kept it. I stammered, I found it once in the forest, he said slowly and looked curiously at me. I actually saw you there, I quickly confessed, and I started fiddling with the knot of the necklace. He put his hand in the air to stop me before I could take it off. Please keep it. He laughed heartily and gently pet Dapples, who was standing half asleep. Now where to? Let me drive you. The storm doesn't seem to be letting up. He backed up his horse and hopped out of the wagon. That's very kind, but I need to bring the firewood home, I excused myself. Dapples might be an old mare, but she doesn't mind a little bit of extra cargo. The miller winked and refastened Dapples to the wagon and proceeded to load the firewood. I felt a bit overwhelmed by his kindness and quickly sprung to my feet to help him, saying thank you again and again. We got into the carriage, our clothes completely covered in snow. The miller asked his horse to move forward in a slow trot. Despite the cold, I found the wintry landscape delightful. The snowflakes tickling the skin of my face and the fresh bite of the air. Come to think of it, it is probably winter on the surface now. If only there was a way to feel the snow again. I had a piece of parchment in the pocket of my shirt, which I used to make a sketch of Dapples trudging through the snow. The miller glanced at the paper, and I shyly showed him the drawing. His eyes brightened. Beautiful. In a way, it's like a poem without words, isn't it? I used to write poems. He slowed down Dapples at a sharp turn in the road. I saw you writing something when you were there at the pond, I remarked, folding the parchment again and then pulling the cloak tighter around me. That was the first time I wrote after many years of not writing at all. He noticed the curious spark in my eyes. I know what you're thinking. It's been a long time since I wrote something worth reading. I could not bore you with my nonsense. Seemed a bit embarrassed, so I left it at that. Perhaps he had never shared these things with anyone before. If you say so. Another time, then. We briefly looked at each other, smiling shyly. We rode off down the road as the snowstorm seemed to be waning. My skin was cold, but I felt warm on the inside all the way home. Presence made me feel so comfortable and safe in a way I had not felt before. All right, so this person is remembering a time before they like went down below. So they mentioned, it's probably winter on the surface now. So this is something that happened pretty close to the end of above ground living, I guess. Whatever the event was. This is close to the end of it. The patronage of Tybalt Amaro. Hail, ridiculous, no. Work! I am Tybalt Amaro, cousin to the king and third viscount of... No. Suppose I should just speak plainly. I made a purchase yesterday, a rather peculiar one. Having just returned from my cousin the king's residence and seeing one of these bells, as they are called, though I myself have no idea why, nothing bell-like about them at all, akin to a snake more like. I am a God-fearing man and find this form unnerving. Curious that our church, so eager to lambast every drunkard and enjoyer of the cardinal pleasures, remains largely mum on these. Truly. Where was I? My cousin the king swears by his contraption, and it costs me a pretty penny, but soon I hear it said, no noble house shall be without one. I wonder what other such inventive tools there are, and what their use might be. On the way back to my estate, I heard word of a traveling alchemist from the Orient, and decided to invite him here with his cart of curiosities. Provided he shows, I might host him for a while. Though frankly, he'll do well to entertain me. We shall see how he fares. Ah, my throat is dry. I suppose that's enough for now. How do you make this thing inert? Shuffling, followed by scratching, followed by clanking, until a sudden thud, then silence. Yes, so, I shall now speak. I am becoming accustomed to the appearance of this device, though it had been some days since I have used it last. Some malfunction, the crooked merchant's oversight, I am sure, had it just standing there, waiting for the man to arrive and repair it. It better work fine now, or my cousin, the king, will learn of this. I have mentioned before an inventor, a man by the name of Destan. Where from he hails and why he only uses his first name, he does not say. A quiet, small man, unassuming and humble. Ugh. God almighty, such a bore. In my sudden fascination with mechanical toys, I have assumed that inventors are universally bright and intriguing. But no. This Dastan fellow has brought with him trinkets and baubles aplenty, but nothing to truly inspire. A ball that gyrates in the air when spun, a parlor trick, appropriate amusement for a child perhaps, but nothing more. A short reed through which wine can be poured, and which supposedly makes it more palatable, although I tasted no difference. A spice grinder in the shape of some exotic hulking beast. The rest are too uninspiring to even remark upon. I shall give him a day or two, perhaps, to present something from that rickety cart of his to truly put a spark in my eye, or else my hospitality will come to an end. I have no patience for charlatans. The nobleman's voice is excited, the change in tone obvious in comparison to the previous entries. I had started this day, resolved to run the inventor out, but he finally pulled through. I heard him working on something in the stables overnight, and the man looked like he hadn't slept at all when I approached. It was a most peculiar thing, wings crafted out of thick fabric and spreading over scaffolding, the likes of which I have never seen. Think, he kept them under covers all the time. They are not ready, and need to go under tails. He said, come now, I says. The sky is clear. Surely you can have faith in your craft. Cruel, perhaps, but the gambit was well worth it. Dastan took the contraption to a nearby hill, rode it down like he would a cart, and it seemed like it would crash at the bottom. But something miraculous started to happen in front of my eyes. The invention started lifting, then sprung into the air. At first I thought it a mere illusion, a trick, but no. He circled the hill and came back to a stop at his feet, shaking and pallid as a man not long for this world, but intact. I have fed him, let him rest, and summoned him to my study where he has just now left. Tomorrow I shall try out this contraption. Baston was trying to object, but he relented after I offered my price. Truly, wealth cannot open many doors, and I am fortunate to possess enough to afford such a bargain. Tomorrow, God willing, the name Amaro shall go down in history as the first man to have taken flight, and my cousin will be so envious. The nobleman's voice breaks before he can utter a word, and sobbing can be heard for a few long moments before he composes himself to speak clearly. Words escape me. There is truly no way I can describe the wonder, the wind in my face soaring above the ground, seeing the world as I'd never seen it before, to stand a genius, a visionary, blessed by God for how else to explain his talent. Today he is resting in my best guest chamber, my servants catering to all of his needs, no expense spared. Tomorrow we shall speak of many things. My skull feels close to bursting with all the delights of what could be achieved with this invention. And now that I have tasted flight, I can scarcely stop thinking about doing it again. So this sounds like the glider invention that we found in the Resonance archives. I don't know, maybe I'm doing something wrong. I'm not able to fly like they're talking about. You kind of just parachute down. The Spy and the Sparrow. My honorable lord, successfully recruited. I had to prove intentions. Apologies to Baron Tassie for disturbing his sleep and the stolen chamber pot. Crude sense of humor. Group I joined this chapter of a bigger organization. Intentions unclear, but much talk of self-sufficiency. Made up of both men and women, peasantry foremost, some craftsmen, a cobbler, 2 carpenters, a servant, just under 24 souls. None can write or read, I think, but I shall keep vigilant. I will integrate myself with them and keep gathering observations. Await further missives. My honorable lord, confirmed suspicions. Heard boasts of loot from the raid on your lordship's holdings in Viscount Cordell's ale stores. Bandits work together with another group, spoken of as friends, not competitors, likely another chapter. Targets for attacks decided based on current needs. Medical supplies right now. Advised to send word to all at risk. Recruitment seems to be regular but not codified, though generally proof of worth expected. Obtaining a noble's belongings or acquiring small amounts of supplies through some swindle seems a common story. No suspicion of ill intentions after a newcomer is welcomed, confirming your lordship's assumptions. These are not sophisticated folk. Meeting places determined by a method I am not yet privy to, but I aim to learn. Await further missives. Have drawn suspicion from Florin, Harek's subject, Smithy. Advise capture or slay when seen. Balding, black beard sheared, stout of posture, but walks hunched. Next raid, Lord Culso's livestock. A rat supposed to open the way, but no violence planned. My honorable lord, I beg you to accept my apologies for the tone of my previous missive. Being under scrutiny, I had to be brief and omit proper language expected by your lordship. Allowed to write the current missive in comfort, resting after thwarted raid. Florin dead of putrefaction from arrow wound. My compliments to Lord Harek's archers. Group is currently hiding with the within the capillaries. Advise restraint in retaliation, reasoning as follows. Helped escape wounded lad by name of Antek from under Lord Hark's outriders, impressing others. I implore your lordship and allies to grant time until my next missive. Will attempt to garner authority before a larger meeting of groups. Supposed to take place within the month. With luck, I may be able to deliver your lordship more than just foot soldiers. My honorable lord, my sincere thanks for your generous and wise decision to abstain from violence against the bandits. I realize the recent attacks have been a nuisance, but my plan is bearing fruit. My contribution to the raids was noted. My apologies to the guards at Viscount Cordo's estate. I pray his knee heals well. And my reputation among the group is now well established. I've been informed that the chapter has been noted by a certain Sparrow. Unsure yet if this is a nom de jour or a title, but I have heard it often lately. Tomorrow we are to join a meeting which addresses the current makeup of the group and its priorities. I'll send another missive as soon as I am able to do so in less plentiful company. This is just somebody who is spying on some vagrants, some people who are stealing from others. It kind of sounds like maybe there is a heavy divide between common folk and the nobles, and that maybe this is the rift between the two classes getting bigger, causing obviously a lot of turmoil. I'm not sure, like the rot and the plague and stuff haven't been mentioned here, so I'm assuming it's before then. I wonder if we have the full story. Blind Bat Ricart. Never go in the caves. Never go underground. Haven't you heard the story of Blind Bat Ricard? He was a young boy, just like you lot, curious, rambunctious, and ready for adventure. Some say he was born in one of the villages around here. Well, there wasn't much to do in the fields for a boy like that. He couldn't be bothered with tilling the soil or gathering wheat. One year, as it came to the harvest season, he decided to slip away while everyone else was working. He knew his father would be furious, but Ricard was a greedy boy and he wanted his adventure. After a long day of traipsing through the heath and forest, young Ricard had a great deal of fun, and now the wrath of his father was clear in his mind. He was terrified of going home, so he decided he would stay out for the night and give his father time to calm down and worry about him. He wasn't very bright, but he wasn't very stupid either. He at least knew better than to be caught roaming around at night. By the time the sun was almost gone, he had stumbled upon a deep, well-hidden cave and decided he would pass the night there. Well, the sun went down and he had himself a nice fire built just near the mouth of the cave. He was safe and hidden there, but the rocky floor was uncomfortable and Rickard was bored of sitting around, so he decided to play a little game with himself. He would walk into the cave's darkness and see which gave out first, his courage or the cave. So he started walking deeper into the cave, brushing off all of the warnings his parents and elders had given him since he was born. They had always told him there were dark things under the earth, darker even than the monsters we might see at night. Ricard was scared for sure, but that was all the more thrilling for him. He felt himself just getting into the real adventure as he took one more step than the other, deeper and deeper. His heart beat like a drum on a festival night, but he kept going. He was giggling now, thinking of how much fun he was having. He was sure it was all just a silly jaunt, but the images of torn flesh, long hairy limbs, and scraping metals started to fill his head. He could hear his grandmother's ragged voice as he remembered all of the old stories she'd told him about the drifters and horrible groundlings. On the verge of giving up and running, he bumped headfirst into the cave wall. He'd made it to the end. He breathed a sigh of relief, did a small jig to celebrate his victory, and turned back to walk back to his warm fire. Only, when he took his first step back, the ground gave out beneath him. He fell through the earth, scraping and tearing his skin all the way down. Oof. I feel like we don't have the rest of that story. I feel like there's more. There's more to it. Brief discussions with the traveler. Act 1. Scene 1. A large study filled with charters and packaging. Odin at his desk, working intently. Enter traveler suddenly. Traveler observes Odwin and his study for a few moments. Odwin has not noticed him. Traveler. I can see you spent quite a lot of time here. Odwin, startled. What? Who? See here now. Who's there? Who stands before me? If you've no appointment, be gone from my office. I have no time for the ramble. Traveler. I wonder if you might reconsider how different you are from them when your worth is weighted in full. Odwin. I can't understand what you mean. Just look out there. The people digging for worms, digging for carrots and iron, I've risen above that through my own work. Why be a grub when you can be a lion? What does it matter if they suffer as a result? The lion does not cry over its meal. Traveler. Perhaps you are right, sir. Though I cannot but hope for otherwise. What a cruel world you paint yourself in. I wonder what you will do when the greater lion comes hungry for you. Indeed, he will not cry for you. Must you then cry alone at the end? Odwin. Humph! What sentiment is this? We are alone from the beginning. Should I encounter an overwhelming foe, it is my own weakness that I have to blame. Exit traveler suddenly. Of course, no one will weep for me. Ah, but he is already gone. End. It's written like a little screenplay. Obviously, we've only got Act 1, right? In here. I wonder if this is supposed to be some kind of precautionary tale about pride and thinking you're better than other people. Yeah, I can see Odwin getting knocked down a little bit. Kinda hoping he does. But hopefully we'll get some more on this. The morning. Gather round. This is a story to get you through the long, cold night when it comes for you. Like it has this night for us. Do you think we were the first to feel the cold? The first to see the ghosts wandering through the night? No. This has been happening since my grandfather's era. Since the time before that. I'll tell you about when it began, when Bearfish, the first of us, saw the protector light go dim and realized she was not alone in the forests. There was a time before this one, when the world was dark. There was nothing out there, no light, no trees, no birds, and no music. What a horror! A great miasma of nothingness. Can you imagine such a place? Through this emptiness, a woman crawled, alone, starving, lost. She only knew suffering, only knew pain and grief, but she continued living because she did not know of any other path. So, crawling. Some of the drifters do crawl. I don't know if some things are before and after the rot, the plague, or whatever. Or are there two worlds, two dimensions, one before and after the rot? And then what if that collides with another one? I don't know. Just kind of... I was trying to put all these stories together in my head. But I know we don't have all the pieces. Oh, these are some wall carvings. I'm not gonna go back and find the wall carvings. But we'll kind of read through them real quick. Unknown. Lo, the stones bind me no longer. I see the stars in their perfect automation. The gears turn the armillary of the world, but now the firmament shatters. It shatters, and the light seeps through. But we are dust in the eye of greatness. That which comes is built upon our meager bones. Number 2 is Demir. The finest merchant in Constantinople died here. Huh. I wonder... Is this supposed to be a reference to Earth? Oh, frick. I gotta go. We're gonna go to the kitchen. Okay. So Constantinople is a real place, right? Is that supposed to reference a real place? Like, does that connect this world to Earth in some way? Or is it just happenstance? The finest merchant in Constantinople died here. The Venetians ground their teeth at his prices. The Florentines wept when they saw his wares. The Genoese could only laugh. May the caravans plod their easy trail across the earth again someday. Goodbye, my friends. Number 1, Elaine. Elaine, the Count Paladine's son, found his way here after being accosted by a vagrant in the holds. The vagrant lost his arm. Elaine lost everything. Oof. Oh, I don't even know how to pronounce this one. Let me Google it. Alright, best I can tell, it is Elodie. Elodie. You stand in the last home of Elodie Corbeau, one-time jewel and one-time blade of the court of France. France! Okay, so I did look this one up as well. This is a Turkish word meaning anvil. I am gonna have trouble pronouncing it. I think it's Urus or Ursh. Urus. Ursh. I think it's Ursh. So I'm gonna say Ursh. Sorry. Please, if you can help me pronounce that better, please let me know. Ursh. I have gone with Hansa. I should have died with Wilfred. Anything but this horrid cage. Oh God, save me. Okay, so that we've gone through all of the journal entries that we have so far. It would be nice to see, like, we have 5 of 7 of these or whatever. Like, how many parts of how many do we have? I know when we get those scrolls, it's like, you found part 1 of whatever, or something like that. It's weird that they were inviting bells into their home. So that tells me at some point they were helpful. The humans made them. Somebody invented them. They were a technology for use. And then perhaps the rot turned them against people. So the rot killed people and turned their own inventions. That's the vibe that I'm getting right now. After reading some of this stuff, I think it was good to read this before we moved on from the village. The villagers didn't seem to know a whole lot about like what's going on, but it sounds like Saint Tobias. And then so his cave, and then what's the other thing again? The devastation. So I don't know that so we might get more lore stuff from the devastation. I don't know that we're actually going to find answers at the devastation. I think we're going to find answers here at Tobias's cave. At least I hope we do. Alright, but anyway, so we do have bunny hopping methods to get to the village. I do need to work on roads between the translocators to make it easier to get there. So village can be a jumping off point for us. And does that mean we just go north and then boop, get to the devastation? I'm thinking the answer is yes. I'm foreseeing roads. Because if the devastation is as bad as the game is trying to warn us that it is, we could die a few times. And or there might be a lot of loot that needs to get brought back. And roads are just gonna make that easier to do. Also, I love building roads, so that's great. If we are building a road north for this, we can also build road north and then branch off here to Tobias's cave as well. that's the current plan. In addition to roads, like, it would be great. I mean, definitely building a road to Tobias's cave. I don't know that we're going to find a translocators that helps too much with that. But as I'm building a road north for the devastation, definitely going to be keeping eyes out for translocators, although we are running low on temporal gears. So we'll just have to kind of balance that. We'll have to balance the gear supply and kind of prioritizing which ones we do and don't activate.